Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Instructor Cory here. In today's video, we're going to cover some motorcycle myths that you absolutely have to stop believing in 2024. Let's get right into it. The first big myth is that loud pipes save lives. The problem with this is that your exhaust is pointed backwards, meaning vehicles behind you will probably hear your bike, but vehicles in front of you that you're trying to avoid and not crash into probably won't hear you coming. Furthermore, most modern vehicles are well insulated and have sound dampening material inside the door panels, meaning they're even less likely to hear you, especially if they're jamming out to their favorite Tom Petty song. Another big problem with this concept is that most people won't be able to pinpoint where you're at in relation to them, even if you are sitting back there rev bombing your bike. The biggest problem with this myth is that if you're relying on loud noises to save your life on a motorcycle, you probably don't have the skills and techniques developed to actually control your bike and save yourself in a bad situation. The next big myth on the list is one you've probably heard a bunch of times before. I had to lay her down. This is such a stupid concept because you're in essence causing a crash to avoid a crash. There's no reason to lay your bike down and cause yourself intentionally to have a crash in order to avoid a potential crash and impact up ahead. By laying your bike down, you're going to not only have a loss of control because now you're sliding across the ground and can't do anything, but you're also going to have severe road rash across your entire body in the event you're not wearing full gear. And even if you're wearing full gear, you might end up with some injuries. And if you keep your bike upright, you still have the option to save it by using maximum braking, swerving, some other life-saving technique. You have control of the machine. You can stop, you can move, you can maneuver around the object you're trying to avoid rather than just panicking, laying the bike down, causing a crash on your own. The next big myth I hear a lot of riders talk about is having expert riding skills. You think you've been riding on the roads for a couple years and now you're some kind of expert because you can make it up through the canyons to Estes Park and back? Think again. Developing expert riding skills requires taking expert rider training and getting a lot of it and doing it over and over and over and practicing these techniques endlessly. Street riding alone is not sufficient to form expert riding skills. In fact, most riders who've been riding a long time on the street have very poor riding skills. And there's techniques you need to practice and learn from expert training, like how to stop your bike in the shortest distance possible, known as maximum braking, swerving, stuff like that. A lot of people who've been riding on the street can't even understand the concept of countersteering and argue with me in my comments about it. The next big myth out there is that full face helmets aren't safe and don't protect you properly. This is a really stupid one you need to stop believing in because full face helmets not only protect you, but they provide the most protection around your head, covering all areas from your jaw, the back of your head, top, sides, all that good stuff. They also have a visor that's integrated into the helmet that provides eye protection. And by having the helmet on, you might have some ear protection as well as you're riding down the road. Not only do full face helmets protect you, but they provide the most protection compared to other types of helmets, such as a half shell or 3/4 helmet. I've eaten through a straw in the past, and I'll tell you, it's not a lot of fun. If you ride around with an open face or half shell helmet and you get into a crash, what do you think is going to happen to all this area of your face compared to if you have full protection and coverage? The next big myth on the list is group riding. Some people believe that riding in a group is safer. Now, this is a weird one because depending on the group you're riding with, it could be a lot of skillful, experienced riders, or there could be a lot of novice, beginner riders. And even if you have a bunch of skillful riders, all it takes is one beginner rider who doesn't have very good skills to wipe out the whole group. I've personally ridden with some group rides in the past, and it has been an absolute circus, chaos, no good at all. People under the influence, people doing wheelies every which way. You need to separate yourself from that group, go ride your own ride, stay safe and responsible. And furthermore, find a group of experienced, responsible riders who want to practice and improve their skills and do it in a safe, responsible way. I see posts on Facebook all the time in these motorcycle groups asking, hey, let's meet up, let's go ride, let's have a good time. And then 9 times out of 10, they're posting later, so and so crashed today during the group ride. I wonder why. Another risky element of this, especially in Colorado, are these twisty canyon roads where you have a bunch of riders in front and behind. If a rider in front experiences an emergency and needs to suddenly slow down, stop quickly, now you have all these people racing up behind, crashing into them like a domino effect. And your most experienced rider is supposed to be in the back, meaning your newbie is in the front and probably prone to getting panicky and stopping suddenly, causing the rest of the group to come up behind them suddenly. Be careful out there. If you're a brand new rider, I highly encourage you to ride by yourself for a long time to get your skills fully developed before you even think about jumping in with a group. The next big myth on the list is that you should grab your front brake as hard as possible in the event of emergency. Now, this is just stupid because it's going to immediately cause your front brake to lock up. You're going to have a front wheel skid. You're going to end up in a crash. Instead, you should learn and get advanced training from professionals and learn how to use your front brake and your rear brake properly in the event of an emergency. There's something called threshold braking that you need to learn the proper skill, develop the technique, practice it over and over and over until you can't get it wrong. Then you can take it out and use that technique properly, even in the event of a fear situation where you're in this state of fight or flight. Your body has developed a muscle memory. You'll know how to respond. You won't just grab a hold of that front brake, end up in a skid, and get into a crash and probably get yourself killed. Instead, you need to learn how to use that maximum threshold braking, stop your bike in the shortest distance possible, save yourself from a crash. Well, that's it for the list of motorcycle myths today. If any of this stuff was useful, feel free to like the video. Let us know if we missed any good ones, and we'll see you in the next one.